Teams. I sent you an email to your school email. So you can see here I'm using Carlos' email as an example. So to your school email, I sent you your credentials. So to log in into Microsoft Teams, you're gonna have to use the email I sent you and the password that it was given to you. So once you have that done, you log in into the Microsoft team, and you'll see that in that email, so you're gonna open your Teams and you're gonna go into Outlook, and in your emails you'll see there's already a load of emails sent from me. You'll see that you got an email that looks like this, which invites you to the Portuguese OneNote as a student. So you're just gonna click on open. As you can see, here it is. And now we're on the OneNote instead of being on the Microsoft Teams, but it's all the same, okay? So if you want to go back to your Microsoft Teams, you can click on apps, and you can always look apps, and you can check your calendar. You can go to your Outlook for your email, and so on. There's lots of apps here that can be used. You can go to your Teams, okay, to go back to your Teams. If you need to go Teams. So I click Teams there, and there it's loading. And here we go, back in our Portuguese class. Okay, so every time we need to come to our Portuguese class, what you have to do is, with the credentials I sent to your school email, you have to log in. So I'll show you the login. I'll log out of my account so you can see how we log in. Okay, so you can see here, when you go into the web, to the Microsoft Online, you'll see, or if you click on the link I sent you in your school email, you'll see you can log in. Okay, so I already have a few accounts that I use for Microsoft Teams. Our one is called eschool.ie. So what you're going to do is you can either click use another account, or if you already have your eSchool account set up, you just click eSchool. You click on your email, or you write it down, you put your password, and sign in. The password that was given to you on the email, okay, on your school email that has your credentials. I'm going to choose to stay logged in, yes. And here we go into the Microsoft Teams. It's going to ask me, do I want to use the app on my computer or the web app? You can pick. I'm going to go with the web app so you can see. And here we are in our folder in the Portuguese class. To find, if you don't want to go back to your email and look for the link I sent you, you can always click here on the corner with the dots. You can click on Outlook to go into your email. There's PowerPoint, there's Excel, all the apps you can use with Microsoft Teams. You can click on OneNote, or you can come here on Files, and you'll see on our files, you can see Portuguese. Okay, I was here 3 minutes ago. Click on the Portuguese and you'll find our lessons. So there you go. Explains how class notebook works. There's the frequently asked questions. You can have a look at them. This is for me, so how it works for staff. I don't have to look at this. Instructions. So I wrote this on how we're going to use the Microsoft Teams, particularly us. And there's a few points that you have to follow, okay? And you can click on anything that's blue, it's a clickable link, which brings you to other pages. So you just follow this, read all the instructions. Meet the Teacher is a video presenting myself. You've seen this on the email I've sent you already. And then we have a few sections on our Microsoft Teams. We have collaborative space, where all together we work, and this is where our lessons are going to be posted. We have the content library, where there's useful information for you to study more if you have questions. So we have the page where it explains how the library works. We have class rules. So I want you to read this, and there's a sheet called online class rules, so how online classes are going to work. Do's and don'ts online, so there's 3 clickable documents about things you should and you shouldn't do when we're having an online lesson. And there's a folder about the e-portfolio. So the e-portfolio is how we're going to track your work during the year. Every class, or every time you want, anytime you have time to study a bit of Portuguese, you're going to put it on the e-portfolio folder. Each student, so I can see here my class, all of you are in my class, and each of you has these folders, the exact same folders. Class notes for yourself to take notes of anything that we're learning and you think you want to take notes on. We have the e-portfolio, and this is where you're going to keep your information about your portfolio. So you can create pages with different titles. You can put pictures, videos, audio, links, text, poems, pictures, drawings. There's a lot of things you can include. It's up to you to be as creative as you want. And this is how we're going to check your work at the end of the year. Okay, so when the time comes that I have to give you a grade or some sort of feedback on your level of Portuguese, this is where I'm going to come and look at what you've been doing during the year. Obviously, I'm going to follow you through the year. We're going to do the exercises together. And I'm going to give you feedback after every exercise. And that will come in the form of this folder here called Teacher Feedback. Okay, so I'll come here, give it a title, and write what I have to tell you about. If you need to improve, if you need to change something, if you did very good and you're well done. But this is where I'm going to give you feedback. But the portfolio is for yourselves to work on, okay? I'll check it. Maybe once a month I'll check everybody's portfolio and I'll give you feedback on how to improve it. At the end of the year, there's a big revision of the whole thing where I give you a big feedback to finalize the portfolio, and then the school year will be finished, and that's how I'm going to check your grades. And there's also a folder called Notes on yourselves. Okay, so all of you have the same folders here. You can take notes, put whatever you need there. I won't be checking this, okay? Your class notes and your notes is for yourselves to keep. I won't be checking this, so you can put what you want there. And on the homework folder, sometimes I'll prompt some of the lessons. There's a little system here that I can use to send them to you as homework. And you'll come here and you'll see. This at this point is the same things that are in our unit of Learning 1. I'll show you that. But they're all in here. Okay, so that's how your folders work. Back to our content library. We have Portuguese resources. So there's a few informations here for you to learn about Portuguese, how the Living Cert is going to work. There's clickable links there. A link to the previous Living Cert exams. They're all in this link. And useful links and resources for you to study. So if you want a dictionary or a few resources on the internet where to study Portuguese, it's all in here. And then back to our collaborative space. So on the collaborative space, this is where we're going to do our lessons. So on unit of Learning 1, which is where we are now, I'll post the lessons we're having. So first one was first class, giving you a few instructions to read and work through. Number 2 is first class presentation. So there's an information sheet here on things you have to do. Okay, you have a task here to use Voki, which is this link here. It's all explained here. Carlos has already done it, so if you meet Carlos on the hallway, you can ask him about it. And at the end of your task, you'll get a link. And once you got that link, you're going to post it on the page called Presentation Sharing. Okay, so you can see Carlos has already posted his link. I, myself, the teacher, posted the link here too. And now we're waiting for the rest of you to post your links here with your presentation. So it's all explained there. And there's little points that I put in some pages with a little symbol of a backpack, which means that this would be something nice to put here on your portfolio. Okay, so your portfolio, I decided that the symbol would be your backpack. And anytime you see this symbol on a page, it means, oh, maybe I should be adding something about this into my portfolio. Let's see, what can I do, okay? So you can put as much or as little as you want, as up to you on the portfolio. But these are just little prompts that I give you to remember. Don't forget to work on your portfolio. So at this point now, you have sharing about your presentation to do and Portuguese around the world, okay? And in here, what I want you to do is there's a table at the bottom. When you're ready to work on it, you come in and you say, okay, I want to talk about Portugal. I know they speak Portuguese in Portugal, so I'm going to talk about Portugal. You write the name of the country and you fill in the spaces with the information asked on the table, okay? And so the next student comes and says, oh, Portugal is already done. So I have to pick a different country. So I'll go with, and you put the next country and fill in the table. And by the end, if each of you picks 2 countries, by the end we'll have all the countries done. Okay, we'll have the table done with all the Portuguese speaking countries. And once we're all finished with this activity, with this task, I'll go and I'll show you here. I can show you this. So this is my folder. You can't see this, but this is where I work. It's my teacher folder. So on my teacher folder, I already have other things ready for you to work on. Okay, so we're going to have one about languages, one about stereotypes, music task. So once this is finished, I move this that's in my folder that you can see. I move it into our unit of learning one and add it down here. Probably is going to be number 4, number 5, and so on. So you can work on them. Once our work is finished, I'm going to move our unit of learning into our content library. So the library is where we keep things to check back on later. So once we're finished working on our classes, unit 1, you can see I've already created a folder here. I move the folder or everything that's on our folder into the library where we're going to keep things. And anytime you want to check anything that's already been done, you come into content library, you pick the unit of learning you want to have a look at, and you can come and see, okay, so this is where we're going to store already done things. While we're working, it's everything on collaborative space, okay? Collaborative space, unit of learning 1 at this moment, and we work through here. So every week what you have to do is come in and click on the most recent class here. Okay, so now we're at you have to do number 2 because it's not finished yet. And 3, okay, and once this is finished, once I see everybody is finished with it, you will move into the next class that I'll put here, okay? And anything that you write, it auto-saves, so every few minutes it saves whatever you're typing. So there's no button where you have to click save, okay? It just auto-saves automatically. And so every week you work, when you have time to work on your Portuguese lesson, you work on your lesson, and I'll, on this side, correct it at the weekend or when I have time. I'll sit down, correct, and upload a new lesson, okay?